peace. Top of the daybreak. Gotta go to work soon. Music playing in the background is what I listen to majority of the time. Healing. Chiron. I've been sweating. As always, people tell me often how intriguing I am, how magnificent I am, how all this other stuff. But most people are silent. I don't like silence. I don't like typed words. The aspect of texting came from the business world. The business world came from sharecropping. Sharecropping came from slavery, picking crops. Most of the stuff that I say, people tell me it's crazy. Crazy means cracked. That's all it means, cracked. I did a video talking about the importance of the phallus and power of it. I think 4 or 5 people watched it on Facebook and the thing got flagged. It's probably some man that watched it and didn't like what I had to say. So we play the versus battle. Or we're fighting each other. I don't like to fight. This is a book that my aunt wrote. My aunt was married to my grandmother's brother. The only boy born. 5 sisters. I never met him. He was born September 5th, 1926. My grandmother is the last one living. She's getting ready to be 92. All she wants is to live to see 100. I've been calling her. She has a cell phone. She's not used to that. Call my brother. He doesn't answer. Call my aunt. She doesn't answer. But we got time to text. I hate texting. I don't show up well in that space. It's not my space. Never has been, never will be. Told people often about the restaurant that was torn down. My aunt wrote about it in his book. They started up a soul food restaurant. The only black owned and operated establishment in that town of Rockwood, Tennessee. They came from Mississippi. Forest, Mississippi, a city at the heat of the night was filmed in. I talked to buildings and structures and they talked to me. Let me show you what I found. An old glass. Look how thick it is. It was a message in a bottle. Somebody broke the bottom, took the message out, So what was the message? See how thick the materials were back then? They were thick, so it protected the middle. We don't have a strong enough force field around anything to protect anything anymore. Many people tell me how you're strong. You're strong, Tammy, you're strong. I'm strong. Even the strong need a support system. I don't have one. Today's society, although we know it's innocent until proven guilty, I always gotta prove myself. I don't have any friends. I don't. I have a bunch of people that claim to be friends that come around just when they need information. Then after that, I don't hear from them. And then they're questioning me as to why I don't reach out. Why do I always have to reach out? I like tall tales. I like stories. When I was a kid, there used to be storytellers, right? They used to travel the country telling stories. One of my favorite storytellers, I think her name was Jackie Torrance or something like that. I cannot remember her name, but I do remember she was a storyteller from the Appalachian Mountains, just one of the mountain ranges I grew up around. One of my favorite tales. It's classified as folklore. African American folklore. It's about a man named John Henry. He built a tunnel for C&O Railroad Company. They say he wasn't real. In 1972, there was a monument built in Talcott, West Virginia, to commemorate the 100-year anniversary of this legend. The legend is this. They challenged a black man to see if he could beat a machine. John Henry, with his 2 hammers, beat the machine and dropped dead right after it. His heart exploded. And he said he wasn't real. I say he was. Paul Bunyan and the Blue Ox is a tall tale. But it's a fantastic tale about the water buffalo, the color blue, in the world. We don't have time to dig that deep back into history. I had my great-granddaddy until I was 16. Jacob's ladder. I'm trying to build my Jacob's ladder. And I'm struggling because I'm still trying to hold true to stuff from my family that I come from. To honor self-respect, hard work, and love. I don't get love. I don't know what that's like. Not from anything or anyone, no other human, because while we're complaining about what they're doing, we forgot about the people that they used. My grandfather's brother, who's still living, was like 97. And my grandmother's brother got these prestigious jobs from the government, being the first black people, like my uncle, my grandmother's brother, was the first black person to infiltrate the painters union He had a job digging a ditch. Same thing with my uncle. Both of them ended up with mesothelioma. My aunt got all the money from my grandmother's brother and his mesothelioma case and what they fought for us to have. My uncle's mesothelioma money. My aunt is trying to declare my grandmother incompetent. And her kids are the overseers of the estate. What do you think they're gonna do with the money? Just gonna spend it on crap that doesn't matter versus building something fantastic for the future generations, because that's the generation with the last bit of wealth. They are the resource, but we don't honor them. And the older I get, I see the ageism and the discrimination. I tell people stuff all the time. The things I've learned, the things I've studied, the things I've pieced together. Get a bunch of hearts. No words, just hearts. No true vibration. And this is the stuff we ask them to build for us, because we stopped talking. Back in the day, we weren't allowed to talk. We would have our tongues and stuff cut off. Now, we're choosing to do it, because the only time people want to talk is if it's somebody that they know. They don't know you, they don't want to talk to you, and they're going to make you prove yourself to be included in their circle. See, I know I'm on the outer scope, right? The outer limits. And that's where I've always been. Never included on the inner scope. See the protection of the outer scope. I'm the outer scope. I watched somebody do a post where they said Pisces, Virgo, Scorpio, and Taurus don't trust new people. I know that to be true, because most Scorpios I know don't trust me. Most Tauruses I know just think I'm interesting. I all think I'm just interesting while I'm helping them. In the meantime, I want to go to Talcott, West Virginia. I want to see John Henry's statue. Have nobody to go with me. I asked several people for years. Everybody laughs. The stuff that interests me. Stuff that I need to heal. I want to take my grandson because it's a fantastic story. It's one I want to keep alive. I guess I'll keep it alive only just for myself, because we love the rain in the dark. Saturn and Venus are really friends. We keep wanting Venus to fight with Saturn. Most of y'all, while you're hollering you're on the light side of stuff, you're really on the dark side. I get more people talking about death than anything. When you don't open your mouth and speak to people and give them your air, what are you giving them? Death. More people give me death than they give me life. And I give more people life to help them with their death. Why follow somebody if you're not going to support anything that they do? It's mind-blowing to me. Because I remember High Five, Tagged, AOL. I remember dial-up. I remember the days when chat rooms had 23 people. Just 23. You had to keep clicking to get into the chat room. We weren't allowed pictures, reactions, or any of this stuff that we currently take for granted. You literally had to type, and write. Yahoo was the first platform that gave us access to video to see each other. And all these things that came from the past, we don't even honor, we don't even use, we don't remember their origins, we don't know how to use them. Many of us have a hard time with downloading, uploading, and running the bridge or the tunnel to make things work because everything's so automated. And we like soft voices, not anyone that's strong. Clearly. But the gossip and the rhetoric, the violence and the rage and the war is allowed to live because it's bloodlust. It's lust. Which throws off the power of will. Because we all want will to be free. Like some touchy-feely, oversensitive children who lack discipline. We lack discipline. I'm disciplined. Extremely disciplined. That's why I sit by myself all the time. Nobody likes discipline as much as they claim they do. Clearly. I'm going to make my way to Talcott, West Virginia to see it if it's just for myself. Document it just for myself. I sit in darkness anyways. What's the difference? So I gotta find a way to bring my own light. To myself. I got this crystal ball to protect myself from psychic attacks. Because psyche is the study of our mind. But we keep going to psychologists. Haven't figured it out. I tell people where it is for free. Because it comes from a space of love. And all people do is take what I give them for free. Stick it somewhere in the back of their mind. And we'll turn it into a virus. Because you're not going to let it run as a program. I don't know why anybody speaks to me. Most of the time I get cussed out. Or I'm reminded that I'm not worthy of a returned message. Or for somebody to have an intellectual conversation with me. Because we like all this, I don't know why I'm doing, let me change the film. That's what you like. That's what you show up for. I had people convince me to go to social media. It wasn't anything that I ever really wanted to do. Anybody that really has known me for any length of time, all of them are shocked that I'm even on major social platforms. Because they knew how I felt about it. And when I told them about how I felt about it, here I am. I've had many sites, platforms on many sites. MySpace, High Five, Tagged, Downlink. Facebook, Instagram, Yahoo, AOL. Why do I continue to show up? My vibration is not honored. It used to be. It's no longer relevant. We run around wearing t-shirts that say slogans like this. I'm busy. Doing nothing. Okay. Then how do you strengthen your outer core? Most of my placements in my chart indicate the amount of power I sit on. And I only use my own chart to pull this stuff from. No one else's. I've said that often. And I communicate this often. Still, I sit in a space of silence, which is death. I give people love and life, and I get death in return. Or to be reminded that you don't trust me anyways. You don't want to be my friend anyways. You just want to know what I know. So Saturn said it's time for me to leave this dead space because yesterday I saw this beautiful little girl. I love when her and her sister and her mother come in. No matter how long the line is, they always wait for me. The managers and everybody gets upset because now I have people that literally will wait for me to ring them up and check them out because they like my vibration and my enthusiasm and the fact that I'm patient and I show respect. Many are impatient. And when we're impatient, we cause distress to the elderly. So much so, they have to go rest for 2 and 3 days because we've just messed up their mercury and their nerves. Because we see nothing great in what they did. I know what they gave me. I know what they died for. And I will always honor that. Even if nobody wants to share it with me. I will put my pets on a registry so I can take them with me everywhere I go. Because they are my friends. They're the ones that are here when I can't sleep. And I have nothing to eat. Or when I tell people I just want to live. Because I was on the verge of a heart attack and a stroke. But when I say that, I show up and I say I need help. And I give my resources to combine, to be shared. People will take the aspect of shared resources and say, I'm turning you into revenue. Because it's what they taught us to do to each other. Not to trust, and not to make new friends, and not to connect. That's what they did. We all see it, we just have a hard time accepting it. But back to this little girl. She's about 7. She's beautiful. I was in a funk. I was angry. I was on my way to go back in to clock in for my lunch break. She stopped me and said, "Hi, Miss Tammy. How can this baby remember my name?" And most adults don't. Capricorn generation. Shell in a dress. Pretty dress. That planets on it. I asked her, which one's your favorite planet? Her favorite planet's Jupiter. I told her mine is Saturn. She said, that's Saturn? I said, yes, that's Saturn. That's Jupiter. That's Mars. That's Venus. She was happy. I know I have a book in me that I need to write. It's a children's book on the planets. They need one because that's the space they're gravitating into. And many of us as adults don't know them well enough to teach them anything. So they're going to fall into the space of learning this stuff, how to balance. All out of balance. There's a young man that comes in the store. He goes by. Something polite. He's a Taurus. And right now he's on the verge of just spiraling out of control. He doesn't like any of his mentors right now. Probably in his early 20s. He doesn't like his mentors. He says they're not teaching him anything. He's been blowing them up. I'm sorry, shouldn't say that. He's been moving away from them. And he's gravitating towards me now. As always, when anybody gravitates towards me, somebody stops their orbit. Out of an unidentified aspect of their ego. Pride. So the unit I should be creating on the outer scope, people keep grabbing them ones on the outer scope and dragging them and pulling them down. And then I get told and chastised like this. You shouldn't, you shouldn't, you shouldn't, you shouldn't. Whatever. I'm okay with not having friends and family and no one around me. I've lived my whole life like that. But it gets me back to a space of, which movie? Ray Charles. That one scene. Now, Reggie Ellis was on heroin for about 60 years. He said he couldn't figure it out. Remember, his mother came to him and said, no, crutches. You're a cripple. That's when he kicked his drug habit. So as a strong mother that came, or a strong woman that had your back, that helped you to do this. Heal. I know every soul has a time. I know I'm ahead of schedule, but I'm going to continue to build the dam because I'm like a beaver, like an otter. I see things before people see it. It's okay. I'm the outer scope. That's about all I had to say.